everybody, it's Kim from Expressions of the Universe with your weekly wisdom for January 28th through February 3rd. That would be 8 degrees through 13 degrees Aquarius. I want to give a big shout out for happy birthday to my friend Carolyn, who is a 9-degree Aquarian. And then half of the Aquarians that I know are born on February 3rd, which is 13 degrees Aquarius. That is my grandmother, so my mom, my friend Honey, who owns my favorite store in the whole world, Solutions for Daily Living, my arch nemesis, who shall be never named, and my father, wherever you are, God rest your soul. Didn't really know him, so it's interesting how so many people that I know are born on February 3rd, half of them being people that I absolutely love, half of them not so much, but I have learned lessons from them. On Wednesday, January 31st, we have that full blue moon. It's also a blood moon. That will be at 11 degrees Leo. Unfortunately, I think a lot of us in the United States will not be able to see it because it'll be coming in too early in the morning, so we won't actually see it. I don't know if we'll see some of that the night before, which would be January 30th. But that 11 degrees Leo, I've talked about this before. It's about integrity, and it's about loving yourself and then loving yourself some more. So that's what you really need to be doing. Now, we have a full moon lunar eclipse also. When that occurs, things are changing. Things are going away. Things that no longer serve could be removed from your life. But if you're standing in integrity and you're loving yourself and you're loving yourself a little bit more, I don't think that you will be affected as much as people who are not living their truth or speaking their truth, and they're just going by and trying to appease people in the world. These wind chimes are annoying the crap out of me. I don't know if you can hear them. I like to have some Zen music in the background, but that's a little too much for me. So anyway, what I'm suggesting this week with the crystals, I'm wearing Aqua Aura, which will amplify any vibration off of any crystal. It's also very soothing and calming. It helps to de-stress. It also raises your aura and your vibration. So it's really great to be wearing that. I think, though, with the moon being in Gemini right now, it's moving into Cancer for the next couple of days until it moves into Leo in the early hours of Wednesday morning, which is fire sign. But with it being in its home sign of Cancer, things can be extremely emotional. People could be friggin' crazy. I'm going to be using Aquamarine. It helps soothe and calm our nervous systems. It helps to ease emotional pain and disorders. It also helps to squelch anxiety. So I think that's going to be really important. And I meant to bring a piece of lithium quartz with me. Whenever you are feeling like you're going off the rails, especially from full moon energies, I highly recommend lithium quartz. Keep it as close to your body as possibly can, and you'll notice a difference. It just seems to soothe and calm you down. Why do you think they use lithium in patients that, that are having mental issues or imbalances of the mind? The lithium really smooths and balances things out. I want to give a shout out to one of the readers, followers at Expressions of the Universe, Karen Weber Kane. She's a 22-degree Leo, which is like the double amplification of this 11-degree Leo full moon lunar eclipse. But she sent me a gift 2 weeks ago, and I forgot to do the shout out on the last weekly wisdom, so I'm sorry. And she sent me this lovely DVD, which I've seen a portion of previously, I think on one of Oprah Winfrey's shows, but it's Wayne Dyer and Eckhart Tolle in Maui together doing a discussion about what it is like and the importance of being extraordinary. So I've watched this twice already this weekend, and I find that I keep finding more things in it. She purchased this from Hay House because that's where it was sent from. I would definitely highly recommend this if you are looking for deeper meaning, looking for some wonderful spiritual guidance. These two, he's the number 3 spiritual leader in the world, or was, I should say, rest in peace. And then Eckhart Tolle is the number 1 spiritual leader in the world, even over the Dalai Lama. My daughter and I seem to think that he is an alien from a star planet somewhere. I mean, he's amazing, but kind of weird. And it was interesting, I heard Chris Witecki say this week that he thinks he's an alien as well. So, not that that's a bad thing. But my daughter and I have been thinking that for years and years. Let's see, so moving on. Ooh, let's do the little black bag theme. Let's see what we have. And I want to talk to you about an event that I'm going to today with a channeler. Her name is Amaya, and she's bringing along an old friend of mine that I have been calling in psychically, seeking and looking for quite some time now. I haven't seen him in 2 years. I don't know where he is. His name's Harold Smith. He's a sound healer extraordinaire. I have been needing his healing, and I looked online for him. I couldn't locate him. I had the idea that maybe he had moved to Virginia, which I found out is true. Anyway, he's going to be at this event, and I manifested him. I put it out there to the universe, Harold, I need you, and only in 2 weeks he showed up. It might have been 3. So the power of intention is real. All right, so let's see. We have commitment. That is the theme for this week. So what are we committing to? I don't know. I wasn't really expecting this to come up. For this week, I think this whole year so far, I am committing to self-care, self-nurturing, and hold on a second. Okay, so we were talking about commitment, and I don't know, I guess it's committing to something this year. I'm committing to self-nurturing. The interruption, that was my daughter coming home. I wasn't expecting that. So I apologize for the dogs, but you know, it wouldn't be one of my videos without the dogs barking. Moving on from the card, the commitment card, I'm going to be using the Wisdom Oracle deck this week, and I haven't pulled the cards. I shuffled them and I cut them, so I'm going to do it on the fly today. Let's see what we get. All right, so this one wants to come forward, and this one wants to come forward, and one more, and this one. So I see repeating themes coming up. Let's put this aside. Okay, so we have round and round, but it's in the reverse. And this is telling me that it's time to stop the chaos. of doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. I think this full moon lunar eclipse is going to definitely kill off that behavior. Things have to change. That's what this is saying to me. Also reminds me of Ammonite. And, you know, I've featured that with a lot of my cards, but, you know, I will elaborate on these on Facebook and Instagram, but that's what I'm getting from this immediately. The next card that comes up is Chop Wood. And whenever I see chop wood, this is just saying keep yourself busy, keep yourself occupied with tasks that need to be done. This helps clear the mind, and when we are focused on chopping wood, sweeping, doing the dishes, whatever it is, those mundane tasks that, you know, we think don't do us any good, when we're doing those things, hi baby, our mind is cleared and new thoughts and ideas come to us. All right. She was in like the wind and out like the wind, just that quick. So then the card that I have for the end of the week. Now this has come up several times over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I guess, and it's clean it up. Yeah, Shug. I think it's a really good sign that we had that chop wood with the broom and now we have clean it up. And I was thinking about this when I was doing my morning meditation. We still have a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned up. I know that this full moon lunar eclipse is going to take away a lot of things that need to be cleaned up in our lives. It's going to help remove what no longer serves, but we also need to put in some of the work involved in cleaning up things. But what I was thinking about in my morning meditation, we are coming upon, in 2 weeks, the first full moon of the Chinese calendar, which is Chinese New Year, Gong Hei Fa Choi. And whenever I think of that, I think about feng shui and making sure everything is clean. And when we have Chinese New Year, they clean and they sweep and they open everything up in their homes in order to bring in the good energy and get rid of whatever is stagnant, get it out of their homes. So I think after this full moon lunar eclipse, it would be a really great idea to spend the following 2 weeks, starting this weekend coming up, cleaning and doing feng shui and decluttering and get rid of things in preparation for the Chinese New Year. And also, you may be forced to do that anyway. I think this Leo moon is going to give us the energy that we need in order to fire us up and get us moving. Because right now, a lot of us are in a very low energy state of mind, and the full moon is having an effect on us. We can expect to start feeling that today. You'll feel that through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It'll hit on Wednesday, and then you're still going to feel it Thursday and Friday. So come Saturday, you should be rested up enough that you can get things done. And yeah, so that's what I have for you. Now, if you just stay tuned, I'm going to have part 2 of this video where I want to talk about the weekly wellness. And this week's topic, I want to focus on grief. I want to talk about, in this week's weekly wellness, and I can't speak, I want to speak about grief. The reason why I'm discussing that, I guess maybe, you know, personal reasons. I had this experience with that channeler, Amaya, the other night, and this collective of beings, Isaiah, comes through her. And there is no way in the world that they or she could have known any of the things that they said to me. I was in the hot seat most of the 2 hours, and everything was being directed towards me. It was extremely healing and freeing, and maybe if I can get the soundbite uploaded. I recorded the hour and 45 minutes of channeling, but the file's so big, I'm having a hard time transferring it. I got it onto my Google Drive, and I need to see if I can zip it down so that I can put it on here. However, she brought up the fact that a lot of my illness, I don't know if you're aware, but I do have some physical limitations with rheumatoid arthritis, and I've often thought that I self-manifested this, and simply because I wasn't diagnosed until I was almost 51 years old. That is something that's usually diagnosed in your late teens, early 20s. It's only affecting one side of my body, which is atypical of this disease, and even the doctors are baffled by my age and the fact that it's only affecting one side. So this collective of beings comes through, and they said that it has to do with me not grieving properly over my mother's death. And all of this emotion came out. Look, now it's affecting my throat chakra. And I have to agree. And I've been sitting with this information and thinking about it, and I just I realized in our society it is not acceptable to grieve. People don't like dealing with grief. They don't know how to deal with their friends and their family and everybody when they are grieving. And they don't know if they're saying the right things or doing the right things. And I just thought about, how we as a society, as a collective of beings, we don't deal with grief. And then it manifests within us physically. Cancer and heart conditions and liver conditions and digestive conditions are all caused by us not dealing with grief and trying to just suppress it for the sake of making others comfortable. So, I've been thinking about this a lot, and, I thought that I dealt with it. My mom has been gone for almost 6 years now, but then I realized, no, I push it down, and I go on, and I try to be this positive person, and we're supposed to be so positive, and don't show anybody that you have any emotions, and it's wrong. And that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because we have to deal with our grief. So when I was thinking about, how unacceptable it is in our society and everything, I was thinking about bereavement period. So if you're employed, do you get bereavement period? Do you not? I think it's a tragedy that employers, and I've checked around to different countries to see what their policies are, and it seems to be pretty much the same in the world. The average amount of bereavement time that you're given is 3 days. I mean, come on, 3 days? You get to go and attend to everything you got to do, go to the funeral, and then go back to work. And we're forced to go back to work. A lot of people don't even get paid for bereavement, so they don't take it, but then they can't function in their jobs. I was so fortunate when my mom passed away to not only be working in a government position, but to have one of the best bosses in the entire world. And she let me take the whole time my mom was sick, she gave me so much time off. But she forced me to take almost an entire month off. And she said if she saw me signed in on my computer at home, she was going to call HR and have me disabled. So I was forced to have that time off, which I am immensely grateful. But where I work now, If a parent or a child or a spouse dies, you get 3 days. If a sibling or sibling, I think maybe it's 1 day. I mean, come on, for real. What do they give you for pets? Because I'll tell you, I love my pets more than I love most people. And so you don't get any time. Hopefully, if you have personal or vacation time, if you're fortunate enough to have that, then you could take that. However, you know, we are just expected to never stop and take a moment to grieve. And it happens to us all of the time. There's always loss happening. It's not even just through death. There are other losses that occur in our lives. So I just wanted to address this today because I know every single one of us goes through it. You know, many of us have aging parents, and so we will be dealing with this. And I think this is something that we need to talk about as a society. Now, the one great thing is social media has changed the way that we grieve, because now it's acceptable to put our grief on the pages of social media and allow us to get condolences and the compassion and the love that we so desperately need. We're getting it from all over the place, from people we know, from people we don't know. And it also is very cathartic to be able to write that out and memorialize someone or something that we loved and we lost. So it's interesting. If you have any thoughts on this, I would love to hear from you. I think it's something that really needs to change in this world, because we as humans really, I don't know, I think we're greatly affected by this. And I think, you know, it makes us ill, it makes us not mentally well, not physically well, and then that affects our spirit and our soul. My best advice on this topic is to embrace people with love and compassion if you see them grieving. A lot of people won't even show that to you, but just try and do something kind for somebody that you know may be going through a rough period of time. And you know, especially it's semi-acceptable when we lose a person who's close to us, but you know, when it comes to a pet or a tragedy unexpectedly, or even, you know, somebody, a close family friend, or somebody that your children knew, you know, you're not given any time off. We need to come up with something different as a society. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear them. That's all I have for you for today. Thank you, and blessings.